We're here with Arena Tournament 19, and it looks like we have 6 players right now, and I'm sure we'll get a lot more that will join um, as we get closer to the start time, which is only 2 minutes away. I'm trying to get the kids in a habit to just remember that the tournament's every other Saturday. This way, I don't have to like keep sending so many invites in the WeChat groups and stuff like that. So I'm hoping to get a little bit more of a habit. Okay, I think Michael's messaging me again. Okay, there's Michael. So we're up to 9 players. We've been getting about mid-20 range. So I don't know. I feel like this tournament we might not get as many for whatever reason. Valentine's Day coming up and stuff, and maybe parents have other plans. But 10 players is pretty good with a minute and a half to go for registration time. I was hoping that Sam would play. So is Sam here? You send Sam a message. So who do we have? So we have Nathan, Benjamin, Alex, Steven. Hopefully Brian will come. We have Vincent. We haven't had Vincent for a bit. Kaylee, who's been playing very, very good chess. Jaden, Rooney, Michael, and Derek. So I was hoping that maybe Derek's brother Jeffrey would play, but maybe he's not quite ready, which is understandable. All right, so 10 players. Again, I think we'll get a lot more as the tournament kind of starts. Let's say we don't have Ray today. Well, at least as of yet. We don't have a lot of the players from New York, so it looks like just Kaylee and Michael and Derek are playing from New York, so I guess 30%. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some more players. Like I said, I think we should get hopefully a little bit better turnout than this. But we do have a lot of the strong players here, so I think anyone in the top, let's say 6 players here, are pretty play pretty good chess, and then I think the bottom 4 are a little bit newer to chess, but I think they can surprise some people. So we'll see what happens. Jaden and Grumpy Fog are saying hi, hi, hiya, 30. What do you mean 30? 10 seconds? And here we go. So we have 10 players as the start of the tournament. Hopefully we'll get more. Let's start by let's look at Vincent and Kaylee. So it looks like Vincent has the white pieces. So we have pretty standard opening here. Okay, so looks like we might be going for 4 knights. Oh, we do have Jeffrey probably playing. One thing I've been trying to teach the kids is that we don't necessarily have to play the 4 knights. We can like play the pawn to c3, and then try to play d4 and go for a more classical pawn center. So I think George would be here today. I think I saw George online, so I was hoping that he played in the tournament. Maybe he'll join later. So I'm gonna guess we're gonna see d3, d6, and bishop g5. That's my guess. Rook b8. No, I was not guessing rook b8. So I'm guessing we're going to see bishop g5. I don't actually understand rook b8 at all because it's not even really threatening b5 because we have 2 attackers. Bishop e3. No, I never. Okay. Already things seem to be a little different than I would have guessed. Yeah, here we're just giving away a pawn for free. I don't really understand. I guess Kaylee wants to play a6 and then take the b2 pawn is the idea, which is kind of creative. Okay, bishop there. Yeah, now after this knight moves, we have knight takes e5 here. So I think knight takes e5 just wins a free pawn. And we talk a lot about these 2 knights controlling the same 2 central squares. So if Vincent misses that, he could capture on e5. Okay, so that's good. That's a very, very good sign here. And now this knight is actually pretty misplaced, I would say, like 8th. Here we just hung the f7 pawn, it looks like, because we have 2 attackers with the half open f-file versus 1 defender. So I think that knight takes f7. Although maybe Kaylee's banking on queen here, but that's not really threatening anything. We can just play d4 next. Although rook f8, do we have to worry about our knight getting trapped? That might be a issue. Okay, looks like we have Brian here. Yeah, so queen e7. So I would be a little worried if I was Vincent here. Like, how are we getting this knight out? Maybe we should even give this pawn back. Maybe. No, queen f3 still runs into, well, rook f8. Yes, that would be very good for black. So I'm not really sure how we're getting this knight out. I guess we should play, maybe we play knight e4 here with the idea of like knight g5 or something. Might be interesting. What else could we try here? Maybe queen h5. Queen h5 might be okay, and then after queen takes e3, our king should be pretty safe on the h1 square. But yeah, I can see why Vincent's thinking here. So first, I think it's been a good game from both sides here. I kind of like a3 maybe. Maybe a3 is the right move. I don't really see how we're going to protect this pawn. Queen f3. All right, so I think queen f3 would be good except for this rook f8 move. And then I don't know what we're doing after rook f8. So rook f8. Okay, like this should be pretty good for Vincent, I think. Now we just have to worry about the c2 pawn. So I think something like, I don't know, maybe rook f2, just defending the c2 pawn is very logical here. I have a feeling that Vincent, yeah, I was going to say, I had a feeling Vincent might miss that as c2 pawn's under attack. Yeah, so this is, now it's anybody's game here. So we're attacking the rook. So rook c1, okay, good. I'm assuming Kelly's going to play knight d4. Okay, knight there. So she's targeting the d3 pawn. So I think we should probably play, I guess we should probably just play d4 here. No, a3 just gives away a pawn, so I think we're missing a lot here, because now we're hitting the rook and the pawn. So yeah, after knight takes d3, I think, I don't know why Kelly didn't take on d3. I thought that was the purpose of moving her knight to b4. So now no, I don't understand that move. What I was going to say is I try to go for back rank checkmates, right? Anytime we have our king, opponent's king on the last row and they can't move forward, we should go for back rank checkmates. So I think I would have played rook to the e file, because this is one of the open files on the chessboard. So we want to try to fight for the open file. And then if rook takes, we're threatening rook e8 checkmate. So if black plays a natural move like h6, that's going to lose to rook e8 checkmate there. So anyway, so what? Come on, no. That's just, oh, that's so bad. I know my job is to be patient with the kids, but I just get so frustrated when we make these really bad trades, right? Knight for, like, Vincent is playing such a good game, and Kaylee is too. But then if we just give away our knight for a pawn, that's such a horrible trade for white. So I think this is something that we should know better, to be honest. So yeah, now I think that Vincent's in a lot of trouble. I don't see how he's gonna fight back here. Yeah, all of his pawns are falling. Although no, now that's a mate in one. Nope, missing the mate in one. We're not looking for the back rank checkmates. All the stuff that we talked about during chess class time. If the king's on the last row of the chessboard and can't move forward for any reason, we should. Okay, so we found the checkmate one move later. But that one, sometimes you only get one opportunity, like the Eminem song says. So you have to seize that chance when it's there. You can't. Yeah, you don't want to miss this back rank checkmate the first time. Although it does look like black is in a bit of a tough spot. Like, how exactly do we deal with this threat? We might have to play the rook back to b8. Might be the only move. So yeah, so I'm happy that we spotted the back rank checkmate. I just wish we had spotted a little bit earlier. Let's look at Nathan and Alex here. So it looks like we have a King's Indian defense, which transposed from like a modern, it looks like. Okay, so this is the first time I've seen Alex play the King's Indian, and he played this c5 move, which I like. So c5 is not that typical in this opening. Usually the move e5. And I think the best move for black here might be queen a5. Although no, I don't like the way black played this, because this d6 pawn is going to be very weak. And also white is just up a pawn here. So I think that's a little much, because this is just a very weak isolated pawn. There's no pawns on the c file or the e file protecting it. Yeah, I guess the knight wants to go to e5. And I don't know. I think we just take. So we're taking with the pawn. That's interesting. But now we're just down. Yeah, I think Nathan has a very good position here. He's just up a pawn. He has much better development. Notice that the rooks are connected. Like, one of the rooks is going to come to the d file at some point, I assume. I don't know if black plays bishop c6. I don't know if Nathan's going to go for knight e7, trading off a piece here, or if he's just going to slowly build up his development with rook f to d1, and then probably move the other rook to the c file at some point. So I don't know what Nathan wants to play here. I think I would go for this move. I think it's a little more elegant. Get your pieces developed. This move is also fine. So the point of this move is that if black takes a knight here, we take back with the c pawn, and then we have the open c file. a6. I don't really understand. Yeah, so very nice development by Nathan, just putting his rooks on good files. And I think it shows like a lot of maturity, right? One thing that I think when you're first learning chess, you think you have to make all these brilliant moves all the time, but chess isn't always like that. Like sometimes you just have to build up your position and try to improve your pieces. So here I really like knight d7, take the bishop, and then either rook d6 or even rook d7 strikes me as a good move for white here. See what else we could play. Because this move knight d4 should be a strong move for black here, because we have both the bishop and the pawn protecting the d4 square. So I think I'd like to try to get my rook like beyond this d4 square so that my rook stays active. Although at the same time, I really like my knight on d5, so I can see why Nathan doesn't want to just trade this for the bishop. And I really like that Nathan is taking his time here, because it is a tough decision what to play in this move. b3 I think is perfectly logical, just keeping a strong structure on the queen side. I'm guessing Alex is going to make a jump here with the pony, with the knight. This move I was not expecting, but I think this move is also quite good. Okay. I'm assuming we have to go rook d7. There's no tactics with knight f6 or e7, at least not that I'm spotting right away. So I think, yeah, rook d7. This bishop is going to be a very good piece here, though, because notice that we're controlling the d8 square. And there is this theory that Karpov talked about a lot, is that you don't actually control the open file until you control the last square on the open file. Yeah, very impressive stuff by Nathan here. He's just creating what we call like a grip position. So this move, okay. Yeah, and I should be complimentary of Alex too. I like the way that both sides are playing. The thing I would say about Alex's opening choice was he just dropped a pawn for no reason. Here we just dropped another pawn. Yeah, this is even better. I was going to say we dropped another pawn, but actually black had bishop g7 at the end of the line. So this is, yeah, this is even better. Although we have, so probably we should take here first, and then take here where we hit the f8 rook. So probably what Nathan is worried about is take, pawn takes, hitting the rook. But the good thing is we could play rook takes. Okay, so here, okay, so this also seems fine. Yeah, Alex has done very, very well to kind of get out of this pickle here. Yeah, I'd say this is anybody's game here now. So I don't know if we're going to trade here, if we're going to take on e4 first. Could even consider rook takes e4, although I'm not that convinced about this move. Okay, there. Then we're going to take here. And I still say that black is slightly better because they have the 3 versus 2 pawn majority on the queen side. But I think objectively this should be a drawn position. So I'm curious what Nathan plays here if he goes for the e5 pawn. If he goes for the e5 pawn, this move bishop d2 looks really annoying to me. Okay, so he opted for this. So king takes. I think Nathan's going to go rook e3, in which case I think that Alex should respond with rook d8 here. So if you take our bishop, we're going to take your bishop. Yeah, but now this just drops a pawn on e5, so I don't think this is the right move. And then bishop f3, going after these queenside pawns that are on light squares is going to be pretty strong here. So I think Alex did a really noble job fighting back here, but from this position it's going to be tough. So either bishop f3 or rook e7 both look pretty strong to me. g4. No, g4 I don't like as much because I don't think the bishop was really doing all that much on the f5 square. I think it's just as good on the e6 square. Maybe we did gain a little bit of space on the king side, and I don't know. I'm not so sure about that g4 move. So here I think we like to play b5 and try to liquidate the pawns on the queen side a bit, because if they sit, let's say take, I missed. Okay, we have the rook here, so we have to be careful about that. Yeah, nice job by Nathan trying to trade off the pieces. Although rook and pawn endgames can be drawish, so I understand why Nathan is offering the piece trade because it's up a pawn. But I think this rook and pawn endgame, I don't know. It looks really good for white to me, but I don't know if it's like, yeah, this move I think rook d7, and after rook d7 I would. Okay, so now it's really going to be difficult for black to find any plans here. Yeah, so now we got the 3 versus 2 pawn majority on the queen side rolling up the chessboard. So b5 looks good. Okay, here we just play rook c7 because if the king comes over, then we hang the f pawn, and I think Nathan will see that. And now the h pawn is very weak. I don't know. I would have played maybe rook c7, or that was just my suggestion there. So yeah, I think we have a tough choice between either rook takes here or even rook c7 check. I'm not really sure. I think we can just take here, to be honest. All right, that's also perfectly fine. But king b4, yeah, I'm not so sure. Okay, take. And now we made this rook more active than I think we needed to. So I guess we're going to play... Yeah, now black has a passed pawn. So I think that Alex did an excellent job here of creating counterplay. So when you're in a position where it's not so good for your side, to be honest, you want to try to find any opportunity for counterplay that you can. Oh, we have 18 players. All right, really happy with the turnout today. So it looks like we had a better turnout than I was worried about. Okay, f5. Yeah, notice that the white pawn is just a little faster than the black pawn, so I think that rook g6 is very good here. I don't know. I think that Alex might be able to hold this still, to be honest. Because the problem is the rook and the king are both on the g file, so after this move f6, we have rook c6. No, that move I think was a mistake. So now you're just helping, yeah, now you're just helping the white king get more active. And that's the last thing you want to do, right? There's no reason to help your opponent's king get more active. So Nathan's going to play rook g4 here. And then now we just get behind the passed pawn. And even, no, this is just over. But that was a good game. Very nice game. So a4 here, a3 here, a2, and then, oh, you couldn't play a2 because the king would be in check there. Sorry about that. Yeah, very nice simplification from Nathan. And then the king is just outside of the square, outside the box. So we play like queen e6. All right, queen here is fine. Queen here. So notice we're attacking in knight shape. So queen e5 now, attacking a knight shape. Okay, this is also fine. King probably g5 here. Queen h7, and then just follow the king. Although we could also play king here, and everything works here. The only thing we have to be careful of is when the king goes in the corner, we don't attack in a knight shape anymore. So if we go here, it's a stalemate. So we just don't bring the queen there. Bring the king to either like c6, and then we play queen b7 checkmate. That was a nice game. This was a very, very nice game. Very nice game. Glad we looked at that one. That was a really nice game from Nathan and Alex there. Looks like Steven's crushing it. Let's look at Jonathan versus Royce. So what's going on here? e4, e5. Yeah, and Jonathan is he's a devotee of the scholar's mate. He really likes the scholar's mate, and I don't blame him. It's a fun opening. There's nothing wrong with bishop c4 anyway. So if your opponent does like show some proficiency in stopping the 4-move checkmate with this move, you can always like transpose into a different opening, which happened here. So nice job from Royce playing knight f6. Knight f6 is pretty much always the best way to stop the 4-move checkmate on the f7 pawn, because the knight both defends the h5 square if the queen decides to move here, and also if the queen goes to f3, it blocks the f file so that the queen is not hitting the f7 pawn here. So what do we got? Knight f3. Yeah, very nice job from Jonathan. I think Jonathan is really starting to get the concepts we're working on a lot. Although here we could just play knight takes f7 because we have 2 attackers versus 1 defender. Keep in mind this f7 pawn, the weakest square for black, only the king protects it. So we play knight takes f7, we hit the rook, we hit the queen, and we win some material there, which is good for us. There we're just dropping the bishop. Bishop takes is fine. I think knight takes is better. I think knight takes is the better move. No, Jonathan. Oh, no. Oh, he was playing such a beautiful game up until that point. Okay. So here I think we should play rook f1, and then because this move knight d3, we take, and any other. Oh, did we have knight takes e5 or knight takes g4? My apologies. Yeah, we could have played knight takes g4, but then we do lose our bishop. So after f3, we could have just played knight takes e5, and then if Jonathan takes the e4 knight, then we could take the bishop with either our knight or with our king. All right, so what's going on here? Okay, there, take the rook. I like the way Royce is playing. This is good stuff from Royce here. Okay, here we should play g3. Queen takes h2. No. What are we doing? What are we doing? We should take the h2 pawn. Even knight takes g3 is a very strong move. Knight takes g3, h takes, queen takes with a check, and then we're also attacking the knight. So we have a nice double attack here, picking up some material. No, that was not what we wanted. Okay, bishop. Ooh, very nice move from Jonathan attacking the knight. Oh, beautiful, beautiful counter attack. And then we have knight takes bishop here. I think Jonathan was fixed on this idea of bishop takes h1. There's actually, I think it's a French term, idea fixe or something. I don't know. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but it just means you have a fixed idea that you don't adapt to what your opponent plays. You just have this idea in your mind and you kind of do it no matter what, which I think we're all guilty of that sometimes. But in chess, you really do want to wait until you see what your opponent does before you make your actual decision. Okay, there. Yeah, here I don't know why Royce didn't just take the knight. Okay, this check would be good sometimes, but here our knight is just trapped. So this check doesn't actually accomplish all that much. I think what we should have played is maybe like knight c4, or maybe even like g4 looks very appealing to me now. But yeah, this move, I think our knight is just trapped. I notice a lot of the students, they seem to have trouble understanding how the pawns capture, which I'm not sure why. I don't think I ever, I don't know, I shouldn't compare myself to the kids, but I don't remember ever like having that much difficulty with remembering how the pawns capture, because they're always in such close range to the pieces that to me it seems like for me it always felt like sort of an easy capture to learn. But I've seen a lot of students that seem to have trouble with remembering how the pawns capture for some reason. Okay, so now here, yeah, nice job from Jonathan. Yeah, very nice, attacking the king and the rook. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, seeing a lot of progression from Jonathan's play. Besides hanging the queen, I'd say that Jonathan played a very nice game here. So probably we should go bishop f4, hitting the pawn. And then nice job by Royce there, capturing the knight. So I think here we should play bishop f4. Okay, knight there. I'd like to see some development from Jonathan. We have to develop these other two pieces. So probably like bishop f4, king d2, and then rook e1, giving a check, controlling the open e-file. But I'm sure this is fine as well. So I think here he's just going to take the pawn. Or he could play bishop takes g5. Yeah, bishop takes g5 would be cleaner, because if we don't play this, I'm a little worried that Royce is going to go for h5, and if Jonathan doesn't see this move, after h5, h4, we have this like very dangerous pass pawn here. So I'd be a little bit careful of this. Although, I mean, we should be perfectly fine because we're always going to have the rook guarding the h1 square. So like here, I think just like king f2, okay, bishop g5 check. It would have been better if we played this move when we could have captured the pawn for free, but I think it's perfectly fine now as well. Here I just play king f2 and, no, actually I don't like king f2 anymore. Take that back. Castle queenside. Okay, I castle queenside. I think Jonathan just has to be worried about this rook h1 move, hanging his rook, and if he doesn't fall for that, I think he's going to win this game. Okay, rook f1, king g6, I assume. Then bishop f4, I would hope for, hitting the d6 pawn. Bishop e7 also with the same idea looks reasonable. Bishop h4, just stopping the h pawn from moving, is also perfectly fine. Oh yeah, bishop f4, very nice move from Jonathan. Do we see d5 here? Okay, here I think we just take the pawn. It's important that we grab this pawn here. If we don't grab this pawn here, we might run into some trouble. Okay, good. Yeah, very nice job from Jonathan. Very nice game. It's fun. It's fun watching the kids improve. I have to say, it's really fun to see them playing better chess and learning from their previous games. I mean, because here, like, when you become like a stronger chess player, it's very easy to stop these threats. But when you're kind of learning, like, these two pawns versus one and trying to create a pass pawn is very dangerous. So I thought Jonathan played this very well. Here I just play rook f4, stop the king from moving forward. All right, I should teach the kids etiquette. Like offering a draw when you're down so many pieces is not really the best etiquette, to be honest. But that's just error of omission, right? Error of not knowing that. And yeah, now I would just play probably like a4, a5 at my earliest convenience and get a pass pawn. Also, this guy's a pass pawn, so there should be no real problems. I feel like the Jonathan might be too worried about this h pawn, so I like this. I like this move bishop f4. Just who cares if you lose this pawn? It's not very relevant. And now I go a4, a5, try to create a pass pawn. Even just pushing the d pawn right away. Also, no, this move I don't like because we had the rook controlling all the squares in the g file. So we basically had our opponent's king trapped on the edge of the chessboard here. All right, so I see his point. So after the bishop takes, King takes bishop. We should be able to easily promote this pawn. So I like actually now that I understand Jonathan's idea much better. I actually really like this idea of rook d1, just getting behind the passed pawn here. Yeah, and here we're just going to march the d pawn up the chessboard. Pawns go marching up the board. Hurrah, hurrah. Hurrah, hurrah. All right, so we're going to push, push, push. d8, queen. I guess probably Royce will give away his bishop for the pawn. And I know the kids probably don't know the strategy of arena tournaments all that great, but if you're like in a completely losing position, it actually makes a lot of sense to resign here because it's a timed tournament. So you're trying to get as many games in as you can. And if you get in a position where it's like, oh, like I'm really, really losing here, it doesn't really make sense to drag out the time. With that said, they're still learning, so there's always a possibility that there'll be like a really bad mistake at some point. But I have complete faith in Jonathan here that he's going to win this pretty easily. He's going to push. Bishop's going to take. Rook will take, and we just okay. I don't really understand this move, but no problem. No problem. Maybe he's trying to play. Maybe he's trying to play bishop g3, king takes, rook takes, king takes, and then the d pawn would promote. So maybe that was Jonathan's idea. So yeah, Royce basically has to play there. Nah, now we just get the queen. We don't have to worry about any stalemates because both the bishop and the pawn can move in, and additionally, the king has plenty of squares it can move to here. So I'm curious how Jonathan checkmates from this position because it's not so easy when you have some pieces in the way. So I like to see Jonathan play something like Queen e7, attack on the e-file, even Queen h4. I mean, every move is basically good here, but I'm just curious. Okay, Queen h4, nice move from Jonathan. And the one thing I want to see if Jonathan does, if he doesn't let the king run up the chessboard, I'll be very happy if we don't let the king run up the chessboard. So like, for example, after something like king e2, I think the simplest move is just queen g3 here. But I feel like Jonathan might play rook d2 check, the king, and then the king's going to start running up the chessboard, which is not really what we want, right? We're trying to take away the space from our opponent's king. So I'm pretty sure that queen g3 is just okay. I had a feeling Jonathan might go for this. It's perfectly fine because after king f3 we have queen g3 and then queen e3 checkmate. But I'm just a little worried that this king's going to start marching up the chessboard. So that's the only thing I'm worried about. But if Jonathan finds queen g3 and queen e3, then I have to tip my cap to him. That would be a beautiful checkmate. Come on, queen e3. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. That gets a round of applause from the chess coach. Oh, very nice, very nice. Let's look at Devin and Rooney here. So let's see what's going on in this game. It looks like we're up to 19 players, which is awesome. So d4, d5, knight f3, knight c6. And yeah, this is something I haven't talked about with Rooney very much. But remember when we play the queen pawn openings, right? Anytime we move the pawn in front of our queen, we typically want to move our c pawn. So as black, a lot of openings you can get the pawn to c5. But since you're playing the black side, you move second. You don't have like the initiative, we call it. You generally don't get to just put the pawn on c5 a lot of the times. Sometimes you have to be a little more reserved and put the pawn on c6 and be happy with that. And in which case, the knight normally develops to this d7 square. Yeah, and same thing. So I think Devin should know this. We talked a lot about in chess class that when you play the white side, you want to try to play c4. And this is only when we play the queen pawn opening, right? When we move the pawn in front of our queen. We want to push c4 first so we get more attackers on the d5 square and then put the knight behind the pawn. I think Crystal said she was going to be in chess class or the tournament today. Or I think she said she might. So I was hoping that she would be here today, though. Because I know Eileen said she's out of town, so she wasn't able to play in the tournament today. Okay, so take. Yeah, and I have to say, Rooney's very young, so this is very encouraging. Like, he's just developing his pieces the way we've talked about. So very, very happy with the way that Rooney is playing. Yeah, another developing move. This is good stuff. So at some point, I think we should try to play e5. But the tough part is that our d5 pawn is not protected. So it's really difficult. That's another reason why maybe if the pawn was on c6, it protects the d5 pawn, and then we could push e5. So this structure, I don't actually know how black is going to improve though. So I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see what happens here because I don't know how to improve our position so easily. Knight here. Here I'd probably go f5 because then we're hitting the knight. And if they play something like pawn takes pawn and missing that threat, we just win the knight for free. King b8. I like king b8. I think king b8 is a very nice move from Rooney. Even if he doesn't fully understand why he played it, he got his king farther away from the central files, which is a good thing. So now our king is a bit safer. So take. Yeah, this is good stuff from Rooney. We have to be a little bit careful. Devin Price just spotted this knight g6 idea, hitting the queen and the rook. But all in all, I think that we're seeing a lot of good ideas from Rooney here. So now I'd actually probably play this move bishop h8, hitting this bishop, because we don't really have a great way of stopping this knight g6 idea that I could see. Maybe we could just play something like, we could try something like queen b4 here, and after knight g6 we play rook f7. Maybe that will hold for a bit. But then I'd be worried about after knight f4 we have bishop g6 hitting the rook and the other rook. So I don't know. Queen b4 maybe, or bishop h8 are both moves that are kind of seeming like good ideas here. How many kids we have to? We have to 20 kids. What do we have? Oh, we did get 20, and we have Sam. Okay, Sam is just dominating. Okay, so we got Vincent. Vincent at 2 out of 2. Jonathan at 2 out of 2. Benjamin's been struggling lately. I thought Benjamin would do better. Oh, we do have George here. Okay, we have George here. We have Rocky won 1 out of 2 games. Awesome. Very nice. It looks like Brian lost. We have Naomi here. Okay. Oh, we have Sean. I wasn't expecting Sean to play. Always good to have Sean here. What's going on, Brian? 0 for 2? That's a little surprising to me. Okay. All right. So good to see Sam doing very well. I think Sam is demonstrating a lot of talent for chess. I know he's very good at Rubik's Cube. What happened? Why did Rooney resign here? Did he disconnect? Oh, we had a lot of good chess to play, and the game just ended. Okay, that's disappointing. What other game should we look at here? Let's look at. So these games look pretty lopsided, to be honest. Like I'm trying to look for a game where the players seem even. Let's look at Jaden and Jeffrey. I would pick Derek and Devin, but we just looked at one of Devin's games. So let's look at Jaden and Jeffrey here. I'm telling you, I've seen enough Four Knights games for my whole life. If I never saw another Four Knights game, I wouldn't be bothered by that. Although I have a feeling I'm going to see a lot more in my future. So I guess I have to accept the reality since I cannot change it. And yeah, deal with it. So d4. D4 is not very good, right? Because we have 1, 2, 3 attackers versus 2 defenders. And one thing that I try to do a lot in class time is whenever we make a move, I'd like to have the kids count the attackers versus defenders with the hope that when they're playing their actual games, they'll do the same thing. But it's just like anything else. It's going to take more practice before it becomes a habit, habit forming. So yeah, so here we just have too many attackers. 3 attackers versus 2 defenders. Okay, d5. Okay. No, that just gives away a knight for a pawn, Jaden. That's not a good trade. That's not a good trade, right? So anytime I make a trade, we're supposed to ask ourselves what piece is more valuable. Here we're just giving away a knight for a pawn, and we should be identifying that these knights control the same 2 central squares. So that's something that we want to keep an eye out for. And then it looks like Jeffrey is just copying Jaden's moves, which is kind of funny. Oh, that Jeffrey. He is a sneaky. He's sneaky. So the funny thing is if Jaden plays knight takes and then Jeffrey just responds with knight takes, then white just wins the queen for free here. So the best move is clearly knight takes rook, because if Jeffrey throws in queen takes queen, we take here. So let's see if Jaden takes the rook. No, he took the pawn. So Jeffrey gets to keep copying here. Oh man, I hope Jeffrey's having the time of his life playing this game. I really hope he's having the time of his life. Oh no, we hung the knight. We hung the knight here. Is Jaden gonna see this? No, he's not gonna see it. Oh my goodness. All right, here we have rook takes rook, breaking the symmetry. So can we find rook takes rook here? No, we cannot. Oh man, Jeffrey's too fun. Okay, here we have bishop takes, and if they play bishop takes, then we have rook takes rook, winning a rook. Can we spot this idea, Jaden? So Jaden's had lots of chances to break the symmetry. Okay, so we have a different position now. Oh no, he gave away his rook for free. Oh, he was doing so good, Jeffrey. He should have stuck with the copying strategy. This is some epic stuff from Jeffrey here, though. When he becomes a grandmaster, I'm going to show him this game, and he's gonna have a good laugh at it someday. Oh, it's pretty funny. Okay, I was hoping that Jaden didn't play rook h8 here. I was worried he was going to do that. Oh no, we have bishop takes. But bishop takes, then we queen. Oh! No, we don't want a queen. We don't want to get our pawn to the end of the board and make a queen here. Instead, we want to give away our rook for free. Okay. Okay, so we got a queen. And we had a lot of people that said they couldn't make it today. Someone has previous engagement, so that's good. It's good that the kids have lots of things that they can spend their time doing. Okay, here. Check, 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 check. Oh, we almost gave a stalemate here. Almost stalemate. We have two squares we can move to. It was close to a stalemate. I would go back here. Let's see if we can create a stalemate somehow. Although there's really not a move for white that controls this square. Oh, I guess we could play, yeah, even if we, like, let's say move the bishop, then this pawn hangs. So I don't even think we have a move that would create a stalemate here. I would go king here, though. If we go king here, though, we have queen h7 and queen h3 checkmate. And that would be game over, of course. So here I think I would play queen here. King has to go here. Queen e6. And then after the king moves somewhere to the h-file, we have queen h3 checkmate. So that looks like the fastest checkmate that I can see here. So yeah, I think queen e8, force the king back to g4. Then we play queen e6 check. King has to go to h5, and then we have queen h3 checkmate. So we have 20 players today. That's a good turnout. 20 players is good. So I cannot complain about 20 players. We have Alex going on a streak now. Oh, no, he did it. He stalemated him. Oh, I was worried about that. I was worried about that. Oh, no. Oh, no, I was worried about that. All right, let's see what's going on with Brian today. Brian should be playing better than this. So we have Brian versus Naomi. I don't know who Brian played his first two games, though, in all fairness. So I can't make any. Well, and also I haven't looked at the game, so I can't really make any determinations about the game. Okay, nice job from Naomi. So Naomi is another new student of mine and very young. So I really like the way Naomi is playing. Here, a very difficult move to find for black. Well, okay, I think we can play d5, which isn't a difficult move to find. So I think d5 is definitely the best move for white here. The move that is difficult to find that I thought black could also play is this move knight d6, which hits the bishop and also protects the f7 square. And then after, let's say something like queen f3, we just play like something like queen e7, and we're doing perfectly fine here. But the best move is definitely just d5, blocking the diagonal to the f7 pawn and picking up a tempo on the bishop here. I still can't get over that Jeffrey again. That was pretty funny. Oh no, we lost our queen. All right, now we castle. Okay, so everything. Yeah, I don't understand. So I think we're just missing what the black pieces can do. Like this, this just gives away a pawn for free that we didn't need to give away. Yeah, and here I think the best move is just bishop takes knight, and then if bishop takes rook, we just come back and capture. And if they play pawn takes bishop, we play rook takes bishop here. Yeah, excellent, excellent, excellent tactic from Brian. See, like when I see Brian's games, he's finding these good tactics. So I don't understand. I don't know who he played once again. So maybe he had some tough opponents. Yeah, this is a very nice game from Brian. He's spotting all the free pieces. I don't know what's the easiest way to checkmate here. I guess knight e4, knight here, and then queen b7. Or actually, this is even better, even better, even better from Brian. I feel like Frank Abagnale and Catch Me If You Can, even better. Probably the kids are too young to have seen that movie. When they get older, it's a very good movie though. Steven Spielberg, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hanks. You really can't beat that. It's a very good story as well. Well, I mean, the story is good. The ethics behind the actions of the individual are not very good, but the story itself was very good in my opinion. So here we have Michael and George. Yeah, we can't. I can't get the kids in the habit of moving their c pawn. I'm really trying to get them to move the c pawn when we have these queen pawn openings, but I just can't. I can't seem to break this habit. I don't know how to do that other than just have them actually make this move more in the chessboard. So maybe that's something I should do. Yeah, same thing with Michael. Although I don't think we've talked about this with Michael as much. Only been working with Michael for a little bit of time here. So again, we're supposed to move the c pawn when we play these deep queen pawn openings. Yeah, knight h5 I don't like because we're moving the same piece twice, and we're also moving our knight to the edge of the chessboard. Okay, e6. Okay. Okay. Yeah, very nice play from George here. Simple development. Also, very nice play from Michael here. Also, simple development. Here, I think we should definitely play h6. We have to put the question to this bishop, like we've talked about in chess class quite a bit lately. We have to like say, hey, what's going on with this pin here? I don't want to just let you have this pin forever. I want to find out what you want to do with the bishop here. No, this move actually just loses a piece because here we have bishop takes knight, and then we take here. Okay, so let's say bishop takes knight, queen takes bishop, queen takes bishop. But also we could play bishop takes knight if they play bishop takes queen. We play bishop takes queen, and then we win a piece at the end. h3. No, Michael. No, 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 no. So I think I'm going to go over this position with George if I can remember it. So I'll try my best to remember this position. Ooh, very nice, very nice, very nice. Beautiful, beautifully done. Knight e4. I'll put in the knight in the central square. So remember, from the central squares, our knights can control so many more squares than they can from any other square on the chessboard. And that goes for basically all of our pieces. All of our pieces want to be centrally placed if possible. G3, eat that pawn, eat that pawn. Yeah, see how strong that knight is? It attacks everything. That would be good, except we hung our queen. Other than hanging our queen, this would have been a good move. Yeah, that's a turning point move. So yeah, we don't want to give away our pieces for free. Yeah, I think George is just getting like a little check happy here, right? Like this check doesn't really do all that much in my opinion. What we should be focused on is how we can get more pieces into the attack. And then also, I think this knight is kind of in a weird position here. So I don't know. What should we play here? Maybe something like king h7 and rook g8. Try to get the rook on the g3 square and try to fight for this open g file, which is the only open file on the chessboard here. All right, so I like that move. Excellent. Yes, excellent from George here. Excellent. Ooh, okay, that's a good move. Knight e7. Yeah, knight e7 I like. I'm not sure where the knight's going exactly. Maybe to the f5 square eventually. I'm trying to take advantage of this discovered attack, but again, we can move this knight anywhere we want as long as the opponent's king can't capture it. So we'd really like to play knight f3 attacking this rook, but the king can just capture. So that's the issue. Okay, rook there. Okay. Okay. Uh-oh, free piece alert. Free piece. Yeah, another free piece. And yeah, most of these games still, especially for some of the newer students I teach, they just come down to giving away your pieces for free. So we could do a lot of the opening principles right. We can develop our pieces. We can get our king castled. But if we give away our pieces for free after we do all the other stuff, we're still not gonna have very good results. So that's why I encourage the kids to try to play more games, because learning chess is just like learning a language, in my opinion. It's just it takes time to become fluent, and you have to put the practice in. So what can we play here? Okay, and then we have to protect this f7 pawn if we want to get a checkmate. So I think that knight g5 and rook g6 would be a very, very beautiful checkmate here. Yeah, so remember, in order to give a checkmate, not only do we have to attack the king, but also every single square the king can move to has to be under control. So in order to give a checkmate, there can't be any squares where this white king can move to. So I think again, I think the nice checkmate here was just knight g5, protecting the f7 pawn, and then rook g6 next move, and then we would have had a checkmate, and there was no defense for white in this position. With that said, I'm sure George is going to convert this anyway. So here we kind of have this cool idea of king g8 and rook f8 checkmate, which would be nice. Okay, here, I don't know. Oh, very nice by George. Doesn't even worry about the attack on his knight because he sees this checkmate. Beautiful checkmate from George. The kids are getting a lot of rounds of applauses today. They're seeing a lot of cool stuff. Feels like Vincent and Kaylee, how many times have they played against each other? Let's look at Sam and Steven. So Sam and Steven could be an interesting game to look at. So c5. Okay, take, d6. Knight b3 is pretty unconventional from Sam here. So we're just basically moving the same piece in the opening unnecessarily. But it's actually not such a big deal. I don't think it's not this configuration of the white pieces strikes me as a little bizarre, to be honest. So this I'm not so sure about. Here we have this cool tactic. We have this move knight takes e4, and no, strike that. We don't have knight takes e4. I'm sorry, because there's two attackers on the d5 square. What I was going to say is we have knight takes e4, knight takes e4, d5, but we actually don't have that idea in this position. So again, yeah, that is not correct what I just said. Maybe we could try e6 and then go for this tactic. Maybe that would work. So bishop d7. Yeah, here we have, I think, knight e5 hitting the bishop, and then followed by knight g4 is a good plan for black here. Queen c7. Okay. Yeah, I noticed the kids. This is a very typical idea. Whenever your opponent Phoenix kills the bishop, to just create this battery with your queen and bishop and try to trade off the strong bishop here. Yeah. So one thing I want to talk to Steven about is you basically like almost never capture here. You almost always let your opponent capture, because now like this queen is very strong, and it really creates a lot of threats against your king here. So I think that Steven sort of has to go for like knight g4 here at some point, or again knight e5 looks strong. So yeah, I think we have to do something about this queen over here though. Knight g4, okay. h5. I don't think we need h5 because we already have the bishop protecting the knight. So after h5, Sam has this move queen takes g6 because there's a pin here. So yeah, queen takes g6 would be a very strong move for white in this position, just taking advantage of the pin on the f pawn. Okay, d5. No, I don't get that move because we could just play knight takes d5, picking up a tempo on the queen. So I'm a little confused about that move. Okay. I really like, well, I think that Sam made a few mistakes here to kind of help out Steven. But now I do think that I like Steven's position here. Although I don't like f6 at all. No, f6 just gives away the g-pawn. So every move in chess, there's you're weakening squares. No matter, even the best moves in chess, you're always weakening something. So here, this f-pawn was defending the g6 pawn. And once we move the pawn, we just give away the g-pawn for free. And yeah, that's pretty significant. Queen e3. That move I don't fully get. So what's going on here? Why do you go back to h8? Because if we play rook to g8, then queen h6 is just checkmate. So I don't really understand this move. If we wanted to move the rook to the g file, we have to play king h7. And since we have a light square bishop, we can, if we need to in the future, play something like bishop f5. Of course, not now with the pawn here. But if the pawn moves, we always have the option of bishop f5 to keep control of this diagonal here. So this move I didn't really understand. Okay, so he did end up playing king h7 there, Steven. f4. Okay. Is that a knight game? Highlights that I'm hearing in the background. Here we. Oh, are the knights playing? I think the knights are playing San Jose today. I like bishop g4 here. Okay, very nice. Okay, that's not bad. So we have rook takes here, I believe. But the problem is, yeah, there's a problem here. We could play queen d7 afterwards, protect this bishop. So what does he play here? Okay, that move I'm not so sure about. Oh no, here we have, yeah, now I like rook takes, no, rook takes g2 is the move, right? Attack the pin piece. Yeah, rook takes g2, and then we win this rook. Yeah, again, we want to attack pin pieces. Very important concept. We want to attack the pin pieces. So rook takes g2 would have been by far the better move, I think. Because now they can just play king takes here, I believe. Yeah, and like, what are we doing exactly? Yeah, but these checks aren't going to lead to anything. All right, we'll see what happens, but I don't feel good about Black's position anymore. Well, we have knight takes. This move's interesting. That move's interesting as well. So knight takes c2 is a very strong move. No, knight takes c2, checks and captures. Because this way we're going to deflect the king away from the rook. So if knight takes c2, here, take, or did I do that move already? Then take here. I don't know. I guess queen to h8 at the end, picking up this rook is something we have to worry about. So I don't know. No, that's just, I don't know why Sam didn't just take the rook here. Okay. All right, so we're caught up. Oh, so Sam's down to 37 seconds. So I just, yeah, knight takes, king here, knight check. That looks perfectly fine to me. There's no checkmate here. So if Steven is worried about getting checkmate on the h file, this king f7 move is always strong. And with Sam only having 37 seconds, I would run my king up this way. This move you have to be very careful because it sort of takes away an escape square from your own king. So we have to go there. I'm assuming we're gonna see another check, and now I'd go for it. I would just no, because then we have mate here. Okay, strike that. Yes, that is not. No, we had rook takes. We had rook takes queen. Ah, I would have. Well, I guess we. Yeah, I really didn't like this move, rook f8. That felt like a mistake to me. I think knight takes c2. We like to play queen to e2 checkmate, of course, but this knight is controlling the square as well as the queen, so that doesn't quite work. All right, so what's going on the standings? So we have Bobby the Fish. Okay, Nathan. Okay, Alex is doing great. So we have Alex in first place. All right. So Brian looks like he went 1 for 4 and then called it a day. I don't know. I'm waiting to see that little bit of fight from Brian. I'm ready. I mean, I think he's good enough to compete for first place in this tournament. So, yeah, I don't know what's missing for that to happen, but I definitely feel like he's got the talent. So it's just, I don't know, just maybe a little bit more practice, a little bit more, getting some more games in. I'd like to see one of Benjamin's games, but we just looked at Steven's game, so I won't do that. Yeah, Benjamin's also been struggling this tournament. 3.5 out of 8. I think he could score a little bit better, but okay. Looks like Jonathan was 2 out of 3 and quit. Derek had 2 out of 4 today, which is good. Happy. I'm glad for Rocky, right? 1 win for Rocky. That's awesome. Okay, Naomi and Sean. And yeah, I mean, these kids are like, I think 6 or 7 or something like that. So even just playing like 2 or 3 games and calling it a day is fantastic in my opinion. Just play till you get a little tired, because I know they're young and it's a lot of chess, and that I think that's great. Yeah, but all right, let's look at George versus Devin. Another 4 knights. Getting used to this opening. Knight d5 here. Knight d5 just wins everything. So we have the pin piece, right? So this move, queen e7, is very bad because oops, sorry. What happened? So yeah, so this move, queen e7, is very bad because when white plays knight to d5 attacking the pin piece, which is what they want to do anyway, then they're also attacking the queen at the same time. So the knight on d5 is attacking the queen and the knight, and there's really not... Yeah, here we had knight takes c7 attacking the king and the queen. I think that George missed this because I see that the queen is still on the chessboard. Okay, who sent me a message? Okay, Michael did. Okay, let's see what Michael said. Why is it sending two messages? Okay, that's weird. Oh, it looks like he's playing now. Okay. So yeah, it looks like, where were we? Yeah, so in this position, it looks like George missed knight takes c7, right, attacking the king and the queen. And that'll just come from more practice. Okay, so here, yeah, here we could just play knight take. Well, even knight takes knight is still not so great because then after pawn takes, it forks the knight and the queen. But queen d2, I think now we could play knight takes e4. Because after knight takes c7, we just move to d7. If they take our queen, then we take their queen. I think that's fine. If they play knight takes bishop, we play knight takes knight, and then win their knight at the end, so the material should be even. Oh, it's so weird because I feel like we missed a lot of our good chances. Here, George just hung his queen, and then we missed that. And then here, George hung his queen again, and we missed that. Is this queen trapped? I'm wondering. So we have rook here, rook here, queen b3, and I think we're just barely escaping. 7. Okay, here we have knight takes rook. Let's see if we can spot this one. Okay, good. And now the knight is pinned again, but we don't have a great way of attacking the pin piece. This queen still feels a little offside. I think queen b5 attacking the knight and then trying to get back to b3 is probably the correct path here. Queen b7 has a similar idea. I don't know if that one's quite as good because now we could play queen to d7, protecting our knight. And again, the queen just feels offside to me. Like it doesn't really want to be here. Oh, this is a funny position here. It's a funny position. So it's black's turn here. And I think, yeah, the kids just aren't taking enough time. Like, we're only 55 seconds of time used, and we're this far into the chess game. So to me, something went wrong if we're not using more time than that. All right, so here we have, I don't know what happened in that game. I guess George won, I assume. So here we have Nathan against Steven. b4. Okay, b4 is a pretty aggressive move here. I think we're supposed to respond with a5, so we should try to chip away at this. I like d5 as well. d5 is also a good move from Steven here. What's going on with the standings? So we have Alex and Nathan tied for first. We have Sam a little behind. Steven. George's been crushing it lately. Who went offline? I missed it. Rooney did great. 2 out of 5 for Rooney is a very good score. Very good score. Yeah, I think Michael, he keeps going online and offline, so I think that's why he was having trouble getting a game. Wow, a4 is just throwing caution to the wind from Nathan here. So he's getting a bunch of space on the queen side. I don't really like this move that much. But how do we deal with it is the question. Okay, take. I was wondering about that, but I'm not convinced about that move. Unless we're trying to play e6 and maybe knight d. No, so this just drops a pawn, right? 2 attackers, 1 defender. So that's just a free pawn here. No, come on, you gotta take that. It's just a free pawn. I have no idea what Nathan was worried about. I guess he's probably worried about some discover check, but there was really anything to be worried about there. 94. Take, okay, maybe. Yeah, and I actually like Steven's position quite a bit here. Is his knight trapped after? No, f6. We have knight c4 still. So I'm wondering if we should play like bishop e6 and then f6, and then the knight is trapped. Okay, maybe. All right, I like this move from Steven. Okay, go after this pawn. Okay, now we have rook d8. Oops, rook here. Pick up a tempo on the queen. Okay, and here we have bishop f5. Pick up another tempo. F4. Now what do I like? I like rook d2 here. What else? It feels like there should be a very good move for black here. I'm not seeing it though on first glance. Rook d5 I like, right? Going after this weak pawn. Okay, so take, rook c7, maybe bishop e4, defending the pawn. And we should, no, I don't like that move. I would grab this e5 pawn. So the whole point of rook d5 was to grab this pawn. I understand Steven's probably a little bit worried about this rook c7 at the end, but I don't know. So we're tripling up on the d file. Okay, so that move is trouble. So we have to play rook d4 here, because then we're going to pin the pawn to the queen. So rook d4 is forced. Rook d4 is actually a nice move anyway, because we're also hitting the a pawn. Rook d4, and I think that black is, no, that move is a mistake. We should play rook d4 here. Okay, take. And yeah, Nathan has no fear in this position, because if we play rook takes, we don't have to take with the rook, because that would run into a back rank checkmate. But we could take with the bishop or the queen here. Yeah, so I think this one, Steven was pretty close to having a winning position here. I think at one point, but just didn't quite find the right maneuver, I think. And that is one reason, especially for the older kids, I'm encouraging them to play as tactics all the time. Study tactics. If you really want to get good at chess, study tactics. Because if Steven had spotted this rook d4 move, I think he would have been in a completely winning position, because there was no good defense against defend the a pawn and the e pawn, and I think that White's position could have collapsed there. Yeah, and here we're threatening queen f8. All right, so I think that's a fair point to resign. All right, let's look at Alex and Benjamin's games. I don't think I've looked at very many of Benjamin's games today. And as soon as I try to look, Benjamin is resigning. Okay, what happened here? I'm even wondering about knight g5 here. Knight g5. Yeah, what do we do after knight g5? Knight g5 might have been a very strong move for white here. Saying f7 pawn. Bishop g4, bishop back. Okay. h6. h6 feels very unnecessary. I would just castle here. This bishop g5 move is really pretty harmless with our bishop on e7, because notice there's no pin on our knight here. So I think we don't have to include this h6 move. Just get castled right away. Wow, knight there. That's interesting. Yeah, so here we have knight takes e4, because then we attack the knight. So knight takes e4 just wins a pawn for black here. Okay. So what happened here? So it looks like Benjamin's position is just fantastic. Okay, castle. Okay. Yeah, I really like Benjamin's position here a lot. I don't know. Can we play queen g6 here, attacking this e-pawn? Or should we try to break open the center with like c6 and d5? What else can we play? I mean, the white position just looks like so close to completely crumbling here. It's just how do we get our rooks involved? Because all the files are closed. So it's just a matter of how do we get our rooks involved. So what happened here? c6, okay. Here I would have preferred... Yeah, I like to play knight e6, but that just drops the d-pawn, huh? So I guess we have to go there then. Queen f3, trade, d5. Yeah, I really love black's position here. I probably would have put my rook on the c8 square and try to get to c2, but I don't dislike this move either. Yeah, and here I think just like knight c6, offer a trade of the rooks, pick up a tempo on this bishop looks very good. b6, okay, that move I'm not a huge fan of. I like f6, just securing the e5 pawn just in case. g5, okay. Ah, we lost our rook. Oh, yeah. So I don't know. This g5 move struck me as very, very wrong. I think we have to play king f7 here, right? Start when you get to a position where there's few pieces on the chessboard, you can start getting your king a lot more active. So I think king f7, just protecting this rook, and then none of those pins work. But yeah, g5 was a strange move here. Yeah, very nice job from Alex bringing his king over to defend against the passed pawn. So I do think that was very good. All right, so nice job from Alex there, keeping the confidence. And I think that Benjamin played a very nice game there as well. Just this move g5 seemed very. I don't even know what g5 was trying to accomplish, to be honest. Just gaining space, I assume. But if we would have played king f7, or even just like moving the knight somewhere, like knight e6 to c5, just something like that, I think would have been much better. G5 just didn't really fit the position. So what's going on? Let's look at who haven't we looked at? Let's look at Naomi versus George. Okay. And what's going on in the tournament standings here? So it looks like we still have Alex in the lead, Nathan, okay, Sam, George. Steven has fallen off a little bit, but a lot of time. Okay, we have Brian with 2 wins. That's what I like to see. Okay. Yeah, Rocky's sticking with it, which I also am very happy about that. Yeah, very, very nice. Very nice job. Yeah, Naomi's sticking with it, so I like Naomi. She has a lot of good jokes, Naomi, in chess class. Oh, we didn't have Varys here today. Where is Varys? I think what happens is the kids that are new, they come to the tournament and they lose, and then they don't come back because they say, "Oh, that's no fun. I don't like losing." But I think what they sometimes forget is that basically all the kids that are winning, they at one point were losing a lot. So it's kind of part of the process. And I do know it's a little unfair because we have a bit of an age gap. And if we had like say I had like 15 more kids that want to play in the chess tournament, I would probably do 2 chess tournaments, one for the younger kids and one for the older kids. But we just don't have enough players to do that right now. So if we had like 35 kids who said, "Hey, I'll play every Saturday or every other Saturday," I would definitely run 2 tournaments. I probably wouldn't make 2 videos because I do want to have a little bit of a life still. But I definitely would probably alternate, like one tournament I do a video for the younger kids, the other one I do a video for the older kids, and I'd be happy to do that. But I don't know. I haven't gotten the impression that we have the interest from 15 more kids that would show up every week. All right, so what's going on here? We haven't had a move from White in a bit from Naomi, so let's look at another game. Let's look at Derek and Benjamin. So let's see what's going on here. So I know we just looked. Okay, so we have this funny sacrifice. This is a funny line. I have a friend, Eric Wilson, who says he thinks this is the dumbest opening ever for black. Um, yeah, you can't do any analysis on here. Basically, there's just one trick that even Magnus Carlsen fell for in his first ever like real official chess game. Basically, if you take white won by abandonment, where did Benjamin go? Just abandon the game? Yeah, I don't like this bishop b4 move at all from Benjamin. We just allow c3, picking up a tempo on the bishop. So I think sometimes what happens when you face a lower rated player, you sort of don't play as well as when you face a higher rated player. Why did Benjamin just they have internet problems maybe? I don't know. I don't think they should abandon the GameChess.com. I think they should give you the rest of your time. It must be some kind of like programming thing, but there's really no reason. Whatever. What can you do? But there's no reason why the game should time out, in my opinion. Let's look at Kaylee versus Brian. So I feel like last tournament they played some very good games, Kaylee and Brian. So let's see if we have the same situation in today's class or today's tournament. Okay, I think Bishop E7 is probably a little bit more precise, but Knight G E7 probably works as well. I think we sort of have to castle queenside though now. So I think that's what Brian's thinking about. How exactly does he want to get his king safe? Because with this knight pinned, I'd be a little skeptical of G6 and Bishop G7, which is what Brian's going to go for. I don't know, but this should probably be okay. So Bishop G7 and castle, we should be fine here. Although I don't know what he's thinking about here, Brian. If he's going to play G6, he basically has to play Bishop G7. There's really no other move I would be even considering here. Unless he's worried about Bishop G5. Maybe Bishop G5. No, because we had the knight protecting the other knights, so we should be fine here. So I think we just castle, and then maybe H6 afterwards. Yeah, because Bishop takes knight takes is nothing. I guess we might have to worry about here, take, and then... No, so this is nothing. Yeah, this is no problem. I don't think it's a problem. We'll see what... I don't know what Brian's thinking about here. I think knight takes bishop is pretty straightforward move here. Looks like the only move that doesn't lose on the spot. I don't think he sees that move, Brian. He doesn't see the knight could take the bishop here. He's taking his time, Brian, which is awesome. So he's gonna see it, and he's gonna say, "Oh, why did I take a minute on this move?" It's just gonna. I think he's gonna see it. I give him 10 more seconds, and I think he'll just say, "Oh, knight takes bishop," right away. Either that, or he disconnected as well, and he's gonna get a game abandonment. I hope not, because this is actually a very interesting position. Yeah, about 10 seconds, right? And he said, "Oh, why didn't I see that a minute ago?" Well, I'm happy I see it now. Okay, here, I think we could play. I think rook e8 is fine. Maybe knight f5 is also fine. I'd probably play rook e8 here. That move I didn't consider. Maybe that's interesting. Now I feel like my d5 pawn might be a little weak. I don't know. I don't know what. Maybe we play d4 ourselves here. Can we play d4 ourselves? c4 just drops a pawn, right? Take. Oops, take down a pawn. Say, why do we do that? Why do we give away a pawn for free? Why? Count the attackers versus defenders. 2 attackers, 1 defender. Not enough defenders. Ring, 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 banana phone. Okay, knight a3. Knight b5. So yeah, I like Kaylee's position a lot here. She's up a pawn. She's the first one to control the central files. I guess Brian has some hope. This move I didn't really care for, but all right, that's an interesting move. Yeah, that's an interesting move from Kaylee. Maybe we go knight d6 here, protect our b7 pawn. I wonder if Brian's looking at knight h4 here. Knight h4 is kind of interesting because then the queen has to keep contact with the bishop, or you're going to lose your bishop. But the knight doesn't really seem like long-term to do very much from this square. Although there are some opportunities for missing some quick checkmates, like knight h4, let's say queen e3, queen d5, threatening a checkmate on the g2 square, and it's possible that your opponent could miss that. I don't think Kelly would miss that, though. Kelly's going to rook here. So take, and then Brian's hoping for bishop takes knight when he's going to give the back ring checkmate. Oh, the back ring checkmate. Oh, no. No. Oh, no. So very nice job from Brian. We have our opponent's king on the last row, and they can't move forward. So we look for the back ring checkmate. I think Brian said good game. I'm not trash, by the way. What? Who said she's trash? I'm not trash, by the way. Okay. I don't know. Did Kelly call him trash? I don't think Kelly would call him trash, so I don't know why he say I'm not trash. I don't think he's trash, Brian. I think he's pretty good. Both as a chess player and a human being, of course. All right, no need for trash talk. I think one thing is that when you compete against people, you feel like these are competitors, but I don't view it that way. I view it as the kids use each other to get better, so they can face other kids who are going to be their competitors, and then those kids really won't be their competitors either. Because if you have a common interest with someone, they might become your best friends actually in the future. So I know that they're competing right now, of course, like there's a winner and a loser. But if you find people that you have like similar interests with, hopefully those people will become your friends rather than people you think, oh, I have to compete against them all the time. So that's my hope. So what happened here? So Sam just decided I'm going to go for this opening, and so the kids are gambiting. They're having fun. They're saying, I want to gambit stuff, and I kind of respect that, right? When you're young, this is the time when you should play crazy sacrifices and see what works and what doesn't work. When you get older and more conservative, like I have, you just completely dismiss gambits. You just say, why am I giving away anything for free? I don't want to play chess like this. I think there's an Emmanuel Lasker quote who said, the young man likes the adventure novel, and then the old man likes the thriller. Or not the thriller, likes the like the slow, like prodding, like mystery books. That's what it was, mystery books, where you have to like really unravel the layers of the onion before you get the main point of the story. And he was comparing that to as you get older in chess, you don't go for these crazy things anymore. You play like more principally, more patiently. So yeah, so just a funny quote that I remember from the great Emmanuel Lasker. And he was great. I think that guy was the best chess player in the world for like 20 years. I think he was the best player like even in his 60s or something. I mean, he was good for a long time. Here I would have been curious about bishop to g4. So I guess bishop g4, Nathan was probably planning to play bishop e3 to protect his d4 pawn, because bishop takes knight, queen takes, and then queen takes d4 was a threat. So bishop e3 probably would have been the correct response to that. Okay, bishop d6. b5. And these games are fun because I could tell that Sam and Nathan have completely different chess styles. Sam just likes to attack, which is good. A lot of great chess players, just very aggressive style. And Nathan is more of a positional player, which is also great. So, so Nathan is going for the cheapo here. He's hoping for queen takes d4 and then bishop h7. Although I shouldn't call this move a cheapo because it also is a really good move improving your knight. So it's sort of a cheapo that has a good purpose to it. So it's a good multi-purpose move. Okay, there. That's just going to lose material. So here we have bishop takes e7, queen takes knight g6, because we have the discovered attack along the e file. And that will pick up some material for Nathan. Knight e7? Why knight e7? No, I don't understand this move. No, that move was very unnecessary. Just take the material. Take the material when you can. Take the good, you take the bad, you take it all, and then you have the facts of life. This is, okay, so now Nathan is really surprising me because he went from a very positional approach to this game to a very, oh, geez. I don't know. I don't like what Nathan is doing here, to be honest. Yeah, I like Sam's position now a lot. Okay, now he's going for the pawn. But we have bishop takes, Knight takes, queen takes b2, I think is no. Yes, queen takes. I'm sorry. What am I worrying about? Yeah, bishop takes bishop, knight takes bishop, queen takes b2, hitting the knight. And then if they play knight takes knight to c7, we do have rook takes rook with check. So queen takes b2 is fine here. Yeah, I don't know why Nathan didn't just grab that material when he can. I don't understand that knight e7 and d5. That seemed a little out of characteristic for Nathan. I said, you take the good, you take the bad, you take it all. I had this period of time where I was just listening to like TV theme songs on YouTube. So I don't know why, but I came across a lot of good songs are from TV jingles. Probably one song that the kids won't be familiar with, which people my age and are pretty familiar with, is the NBA and NBC theme song. That one. That's a classic right there. That would really get you excited for the basketball game. So I think here, like rook c8 probably coming. Yeah, I like the way that Sam has handled this position. So knight e6, knight d4. Knight d4, because then we have this cool tactic, queen takes, knight e2 check, attacking the king and the queen. So nice move from Nathan, not allowing that. So I think we have to play, I could play queen c2 here, so I shouldn't say have to. Yeah, I'm wondering if Nathan's going to miss this knight d4, queen takes c3, knight e2 check tactic. That's what I'm wondering if we'll see that in this game. That was during the Jordan era. You get really excited. Bulls would come on. Oh man, those were the good old days. What? Oh, he wants. Okay, so if we take the knight, he's going to take the rook here. Ah, very interesting. Very interesting decision from Nathan there. I was not expecting that move. Although I mean, I just want to play rook c8 anyway, so it kind of drives my rook to the square it wants to be on. Although knight d5 is coming then. This is an interesting position. Very, very interesting game here. Maybe we play rook d8 then. Rook d8, knight here, and then I have queen a2, attacking the rook and the knight. The rook has to go to d1 to protect the d5 knight. I don't know. Then maybe we have knight c7 at the end. Okay, rook e8. I like rook e8. And then I'm assuming that Sam is hoping for, after knight d5, he's going to play knight c7, attacking the knight and picking up a tempo on the queen. This is a very, very interesting game. I think once Nathan rejected the rook on f8, it became very interesting. Queen f3. Now we have knight d4. Yeah, knight d4, queen takes f7. Oh, jeez. Jeez. All right, so I guess king g8 first. Okay, and now knight d4 looks very strong to me. So probably we're going to see... Are we going to see rook d1 here? Okay. What's going on? Okay, I guess we should play rook f8 then. This knight d4 move is just... If black can ever get this knight d4 move in, I think it's worrisome. I'm telling you, this queen takes c3 and then knight e2 idea. This possibility will happen, I think. It has to. It feels like it's meant to be. Also, we could be playing something queen d3 to protect the d4 square. Then we have knight here with the same idea. Queen takes, knight e2 check. So I can see why Nathan is thinking for quite a bit here. I wonder if Nathan's even considering knight d5, even though it kind of ruins his pawn structure. But I don't know. Like queen takes a4 is probably just fine there. So what should Nathan play here? Yeah, I can see why he's thinking for so long. He has a tough decision here, Nathan. This is not an easy decision at all. I think maybe should go for knight to d5. If black takes on a4, I feel like we have enough time to play some like maybe queen g4 and knight f6 ideas or something, or knight e7 checks, and then knight e7, knight f5 strikes me as very, very strong. So I think I would play knight d5 here, and if black decides to kind of mess up my pawn structure on the king side, I'm going to say that I have enough pressure on this a pawn that makes it worthwhile. So knight e4. Okay, knight e4. So I guess Nathan is hoping for after here he wants to play knight d6. I don't know if that's the right. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right way to attack the f7 pawn, because then we have this move. Then we have queen f4 here. Queen f4 looks like it should be strong at the end of this variation. And unfortunately, my knight d4 move never came to fruition. Okay, here, so Nathan's going to play knight d6. Oh, that move, really? I think we could play f5 here because the knight protects the g7 pawn. Oh, he's hoping for f. Oh, even I fell for the trick. He's hoping. Oh, very nice move from. So that's the idea. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Man, the kids are getting so good. I mean, Nathan's been playing good chess for a while, but it just seems like it gets better and better. Although we can play queen a1 and then f5, I think. Man, this is good stuff. This is really good chess. Really good chess here. Yes, I'm still here. I don't understand where this is going though. Like after king here, what's the problem? So I guess we're gonna see queen f5. Yeah, I don't get what the issue is. We could play knight h5, right? Threatening a checkmate here. So that's possible. No, it's not threatening a checkmate. I'm sorry, the knight's still protecting. Okay. Sorry for my blind spot here. So what's the deal? What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, so it's not threatening a checkmate though. We just have queen takes rook here. Just queen takes rook is winning. Yeah, this is good stuff. This is some good stuff here. Yeah, I mean, queen f5 makes no sense now. It would have made a lot more sense on the previous move, but now, no, oh, that was unnecessary. That was really unnecessary move from Sam there. I'm sure he's still winning. He's still completely winning, but that was very unnecessary. Yeah, now this move h5 is coming, and that's going to be a little annoying. Like Nathan's really hoping for h5, g5, and then knight f5 here. Yeah, h5, very logical. So here we have to play rook takes. Okay, because if we take with the pawn, then it hangs the knight. Okay, here. And I guess if we play knight h5, we get checkmate on the g2 square. So we might have to play knight e4. Okay, good. But again, I don't think this check actually even does all that much, to be honest. I mean, if we're really scared of this check, yeah, king g7 is nice. I was going to suggest queen e7 as well. King g7 I like a lot, though. Here. Just play king back. Well, king back, knight f6. I don't know. Okay. So we have this check, king e7. So Sam's saying that's nothing, which I agree. So can we play here maybe? And while these guys are battling it out, Alice is saying, I'm going to pick up some additional points. Oh, nice from Sam there. Very nice job. Very nice game from Sam. It's good stuff there. So what's going on? So we have Sam. All right, who haven't we looked at? Let's look at. Oh, Vincent's still here. Oh, Vincent's gonna take out the leader? Is that, or am I seeing that wrong? No, I'm seeing that wrong. Okay, my apologies. My apologies. So that just gives away this pawn, right? So remember, these two knights control the same central squares. And the reason why I've mentioned this so much is basically what I'm trying to get you guys to think about is if this knight moves and this pawn is not protected by any other black piece, we can just grab this pawn for free. Yeah, so if we would have grabbed this pawn for free, this would have been a huge advantage for white already because now we're putting a lot of pressure on the f7 pawn. And also, we're just up a pawn. And also, we have this. Well, okay, let's say if they play d6. I was going to say we could play knight g4 attacking the pin piece. But after d6, that probably wouldn't work out so well because of the bishop. But we could always just bring the knight back to f3 if we needed to. Now, attack the pin piece. Attack the pin piece. Okay, right here. c5, right? We're creating a little bit of weaknesses in our position here. Yeah, I like knight b5 and knight d6 maybe. Although knight b5, they play d6 themselves, so I'm not sure. Okay, so what did he play? Bishop c4. Yeah, I don't like taking at all. Oh, we're down to the last minute. Oh, yeah, I really didn't like bishop takes knight here at all. Although bishop takes knight, knight d5. Okay, I take back my comment. Maybe it's better. Okay, I take back my previous comment. Yeah, and here I think that Vincent is perfectly fine. So what went wrong here? That's what went wrong. We gave away our pawn for free. Why? Why give away your pawn for free? No need to do that. No need to give away your pawn for free. So I thought Vincent was playing a very nice game until he gave his pawn away for free. Here I still think that white has okay drawing chances maybe. Here I go rook c6. Okay. Oh, here we just, okay, so basically take, we give a check, and we give a check, and we win the b pawn. Okay, is that the issue? Yeah, here we definitely should have played, no, that was a big miss. Alex definitely should have played rook c2. Yeah, that was definitely a miss. All right, but this is a nice game from Alex and Vincent. This is a nice game from both sides. Yeah, we should be able to hold this as white actually, but it's not easy. And I know that Vincent's probably never. Yeah, here we don't want to run our king away. Just basically, we just keep our rook on the a file, and everything should be pretty good here. Because basically, if we can get our king over this way, like there's no way that black is ever making progress here. So we just don't want to sort of run our king away from the action like this. Yeah, because now notice that the rook is blocking the king, so the king can't move to the c file now, and that's going to be very important. Yeah, here we should play like king here, and then this tactic possibly works, but not in this position. Here we're just down a rook now. All right, so that was a good game though, very good game. Yeah, congrats to Alex. So I think that's his first tournament victory, and then congrats to Nathan and Sam on a great tournament as well. We missed some kids here today. I was hoping Josiah would come. I was hoping that Ray might come, but we had a good turnout. So 20 kids is nothing to complain about. Want to thank everyone for their hard work and their improvement, and enjoy your weekend, everyone. Yeah, thanks to everyone for playing in the tournament. All right, bye.